It was the Fran Williams interception. Like,
Yes.
well, here we go.
Here we
This is
go.
yeah, we're done. This is you can tell that they're
It's
fighting
the
with
type
lightning.
it's the type of game where you're playing, you think we only need one.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
need one. Oh gosh. Yeah, and it's great to look at the legacy. Like you do understand that, you are a different team. It's not the
Mm.
same as what Firebirds were. And I think the way Kiri's come in and just created the whole vibe and the culture, and it's really positive and bright, and like we're really looking to kind of build towards something over the next couple of years.
Well, kia ora netball skip whānau, and welcome back to the Sporting Skip. I'm very excited for today's episode. I mean, my guest today, she's a world champion silver medalist. She's an English Rose and is currently playing with the Queensland Firebirds. So please welcome Imogen Allison. Imogen, how are you doing today?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm just, yeah, as I said, very excited for you to chat today and thank you for coming on. I mean, I'd love to kind of just get stuck into it with your time with the Firebirds. I mean,
Yeah.
making that decision to go from playing in the NSL in the UK to move to Australia, which is on the other side of the world for you, that must be like a very big opportunity that you couldn't really refuse. So, what has it been like playing in SSN this season?
Oh, I've loved it. I've loved coming over to the Firebirds and like getting to know the team, getting to know Brisbane and stuff like that. And I think um, all the girls have been incredibly welcoming, and like it's such a good group. So yeah, like it was an opportunity that I really wanted to kind of challenge myself and see where it took me really.
Yeah, and I mean the Queensland Firebirds has had a pretty storied and successful history. I mean, even with the English Roses that have even played there, like Tamsin Greenway, Chelsea Pittman, and Ebony Osoro Brown. So, what has it been like being a part of now that legacy? And did you get any advice from those previous English players?
Yeah, I think I've always kind of watched the Firebirds and like understood like their legacy is pretty huge.
Mm,
And they go back a long way and they've had some huge successes. And I think it's always been kind of a club that I've looked to and thought, wow, like that would be pretty cool. But never really, you don't know what opportunities you're gonna get, and like you kind of just play and train as hard as you can, and give it a go. And yeah, I feel very lucky that I did get this opportunity. I did speak to Ebony before I came out, and she was like, she loved her time here. So
mm.
she was really excited that I was able to come out here and, play for the Firebirds. And yeah, I spoke to Chelsea as well, actually. Yeah, she was good to chat to. And yeah, it's something that I've always loved watching SSN, and I have loved watching the Firebirds because of how they play and like where the legacy has come from. It's
Mm.
pretty huge.
Yeah, and I mean, it must have been quite nice as well going from, over in the NSL, being with, Manchester Thunder and then Team Bath for that long to then go into a completely new challenge. But also not being the only new player. I mean, Mary Cholak also coming over. There's quite a few new pathway players that have come through or are getting their first consistent minutes this season,
Yeah.
and also a new coach. So basically, there's like a whole new legacy that you guys kind of get to develop for yourselves. So how has that been being a part of, a potentially established brand beforehand and being able to create a new one with this new group of people?
Yeah, like it's although it's like great to look at the legacy, like you do understand that you are a different team. It's not the same
Mm,
as what Firebirds were, and I think the way Kiri's come in and just created the whole vibe and the culture, and it's really positive and bright, and like we're really looking to kind of build towards something over the next couple of years. And I know like the results haven't gone like how we necessarily have wanted them to recently. And I
mm,
think it's important that we kind of acknowledge that and we know that. And it's like one of those things in sport where, no one wants to lose, but
mm.
it's the beginning and it's the part of the bigger picture of kind of a new era we're hoping of the Firebirds. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, as you spoke on that with Kitty Wills, she is a coach that is known to build a very successful team culture. She did that with the Northern Stars, and she brought
Yeah.
in a lot of cultural elements from South Auckland, where I'm from. So
Yeah.
it's been pretty cool to see her almost not bring those same elements to the Queensland Firebirds, but that ability to bring in a whole lot of different cultures and build it into that kind of consistent, um, it looks like the team culture is going really well and humming this time around as well. So, what has Kitty Wolves, especially with that New Zealand flair as well, what has she brought potentially to your game and the Firebirds game that you think is going to build you guys for success later on in the season?
I think coming in as a new coach, she kind of took a look at like what we had as a group, and obviously
Mm,
me and Mary actually came over quite late in pre-season, to be fair. So when kids first came in, like we weren't actually here,
mm,
but that kind of gave her a chance to see what the girls that were like there last year and here this year, like what they were about, and really
mm,
understand them. Like I feel like kids came in not wanting to just change the whole way that the Firebirds play, but to like build what how they play, but then also complement it with like her ideas, and then obviously coming in like with me and Mary, kind of like almost understanding our strengths and how it can like build into how she wants us to play. And I think
mm,
that's pretty cool. Obviously Mary's so dominant and such a strong shooter. Like we just want to be able to give her the ball as many times as possible. And like it was just about finding a way to kind of play that like works best for everyone. And that's it's always going to be a work in progress, I guess. Like
mm.
no one plays the perfect game, but I think yeah, just building over the next couple of years will be really fun to see.
Yeah, and I mean, even to think with this new crop of Firebirds players, that despite it being your first season in SSN, you are the most internationally capped and domestic capped player outside of SSN. So, what do you think you can individually, I guess, bring to the Firebirds environment just to potentially go 1% further in getting those wins?
I think for me, like I'm quite a confident player. Like
Mm,
I really thrive on other people's energy and bringing energy to them. So I think I really focus on how I can help others bring the best out of themselves. And I'll be talking for most of the game, shouting about
mm.
at everyone, like encouraging them, directing them, like
Yeah.
helping them kind of, um, I don't know, I guess try and help us like be together as a team and kind of
Mm,
work off the same hymn sheet. And I think that's what's really important in this team when we're still like well at the beginning when we were still kind of getting to know each other. We've just got to keep talking and communicating, and I think
mm.
that's something that I have learned. Like I feel like when you first start playing netball, like talking loads and shouting is like it's kind of a lot, but then like as you get more confident, like you
Yeah.
just kind of tell your mate what to do, they tell
Yeah.
you what to do, you give everyone encouragement, and I think it's about the moments for me that I think I've potentially experienced in, other aspects of, I don't know, like a World Cup or like finals that I've experienced in Super League, and like
Mm.
those moments that like you think, okay, now we need calm. Like
Yeah.
now it's time for this. Like now it's time to get up and about and stuff like that. And I think they're the kind of moments where I feel like I can bring that 1%, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, like at the beginning of the season, you guys were tracking pretty well. I mean, you had those two wins against the Giants and the Fever, even
Yeah,
after Team Girls Cup, where there was those, you were closely contested in most of those games. Like it's not like throughout the season, it's not like you guys are so far behind. It is, you
yeah,
guys are closely there, and it's just a few little inches that you guys need to do to get a little bit, to get over across the line. So,
yeah.
potentially, who are some players that may not be getting consistent game time at this point, but some standout players that you think, okay, they could definitely be a almost like a bolter or someone that could be like a bright spark that can come on and be a massive presence for you guys for the second half of the season?
I don't know. I think it's hard because, I believe everyone in this team can bring something different,
Mm,
and that's
mm.
like what's so great about them. Like we all kind of have our own like strengths, obviously, and and depending on what team we're playing and what scenarios we're in, people bring the different things that you
Yeah.
need, and I guess it's about dialing them up when someone needs that, or like understanding each other, trusting each other, and kind of bring in like if you see someone's tired, right, I'm just gonna put an absolute shift in for the next,
Yeah. Yeah.
5 minutes and run around like a
Like a chicken, headless
like a
chicken.
headless chicken if I have to. Like that's what I'm gonna do, and kind of trusting that like we do have that bench that like particularly in the mid court for me, I
Mm,
think we've got a group of four that can all play centre. Two of us will cover wing D, two of us will cover wing attack, and it's like
mm,
just knowing that like you just work as hard as you can, and
yeah.
then like we've got options. So yeah, I think I wouldn't say there's like a particular person that can bring that one thing, but I think all of us like bring what the team needs at the right time, that's where we're going to come into play, and that does
Yeah.
take a little bit of time to kind of figure out, I guess.
Mm,
And yeah, it just takes everyone kind of just given what they've got at every opportunity, I guess. And it's obviously easier said than done to just play well and
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's easy to
play.
say, but it's hard to actually put
It's
out there for
it's the
60 minutes.
moments for us, and I think like as
Mm,
you said, we're not like miles behind in games, but like there's moments where we'll be like one or two in it, and then we kind of that's where like the other team will get a run, and it's
mm.
just about how we figure out in those moments how we're gonna keep that gap narrow. So then, if we do get the opportunity to strike, we can.
Yeah. And I mean, you're definitely one of those players that will be able to provide that throughout the season, and you have been providing that throughout the season. I mean, your experience as an English Rose, you have 52 test caps for them now. But I would love to talk about, there's a collection of caps I'd like to talk about quickly. The first one, your debut over in New Zealand. Um, it was the quarantine period, there was
Oh yeah.
lockdown, all that stuff, no international netball, and then all of a sudden this series pops up and you're one of the new players that get to be a part of the squad. So, kind of what was that like going over? It must have been hard doing that quarantine and having to adjust going from lockdown, no netball, to then being on the international stage and performing for your country.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy time, I guess.
Mm,
I had just finished uni, and like joined into the full-time program, and
mm,
lockdown, you kind of just thought, oh, everything's like obviously NSL stopped and everything
mm,
finished, and it was just like, oh, I guess we're all just not training then.
yeah.
And then obviously seeing that Australia and New Zealand were still out, like they were still living life at that point and
Hmm.
not necessarily in a lockdown. So when we heard about this tour, we were all a bit like, wow, like what an incredible opportunity it would be to actually get
Yeah.
to play and train, like
Mm,
do stuff again.
yeah.
So yeah, it was a huge opportunity, a very unique one,
Mm,
in the whole quarantine experience. My first maybe 5 or 6 caps were against New Zealand after a
yeah.
quarantine. So
Yeah.
it did become the way that I played apparently. But
Yeah, it must have been a very odd way
put
to.
me in a room for 2 weeks and I'll be ready to go
Yeah.
afterwards. But
That is
no,
such an odd way to
so
begin.
strange, so strange. We were kind of cycling in our rooms and like
Mm.
doing little laps of the bedrooms and stuff like that. So it was
Uh,
rogue. It was really rogue, but a really great time to be able to come over and play in front of a crowd when like our season had been stopped. We hadn't
mm,
been, no one was allowed out in England and stuff like that. Like it was really nice, and it was, I was very grateful for the opportunity to be able to come and still play netball, even though it was like a really tough time
mm,
obviously for like the world and especially the UK that we were leaving. It was quite yeah, it was a very intense lockdown that we were leaving. To be able to come and play in front of a crowd was pretty cool.
mm. And I imagine just to have that, I guess, the separation of all of that stuff for a minute must have been amazing to like kind of channel into all
Yeah,
your energy and be like, okay, I'm on the other side of the world and it might take me a while to
yeah,
get back, but at least I get to play what I love. So, the second test I'd love to talk about, it's kind of a combination. It's those three games at the World Cup. I mean, defeating Australia, the semi-final against the Silver
yeah,
Ferns where you guys won, and then that grand final against Australia. Obviously, not the result in the end that you
yeah.
guys wanted, but I mean, those were some amazing games, and it must have been like so thrilling to be a part of, the English netball just that keeps on going up and up and up. So, what do you
Yeah.
remember about those games, despite the result? Is there kind of like any memories you remember?
Yeah, I think the World Cup's a funny one, in that you are like just playing every day and like
Mm,
you do that when you're a kid. You don't do that when you're an
Yeah.
adult, really. You don't play every day. Like it's
Yeah.
hard work, and you kind of get yourself like. I remember I was sharing a room with Fran Williams over at Fever, and we were kind of like every day it was game day, and every day we'd pump each other. We're like, yes, I love doing this. Let's go. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
another one. And then, yeah, obviously we got to the last round game against Australia and winning that was, yeah, it was pretty special. I think everything about South Africa was like amazing and it was like
Mm,
so fun and like really enjoyable experience. So then to win that and then going into semi-final in New Zealand, like we thought like, it's kind of a like we lose in semi-finals every now and again and it just
yeah.
it just sucks like even like at Super League like the amount of semi-finals that I've lost like it just
Yeah.
is just it just hurts and you're
Yeah.
kind of so close yet so far
Mm.
so winning that like obviously it was we were drawing after the end of every quarter
Oh, I
up
know.
until the last
That was
so
the most stressful game. Obviously, no offense, but I was supporting my girls.
no
So,
obviously
yeah.
yeah no,
But I
understandably
remember watching that game being like, "Oh my God," because I genuinely thought, with, Grace being out that it was just going to be like, "Oh, okay, well this is going to be England just going to absolutely go at it." And you
yeah
guys did go at it. And it was like, it just kept going. I was like, oh my God, I just need one goal. And then it was the Fran Williams intercept. It's like,
yes
well, here we go.
here we
This is,
go.
yeah, yeah, we're done. This is, you can tell that they're
It's
finally
the type,
like,
it's the type of game where you're playing, you think we only need one.
yeah,
We just
yeah,
need one.
yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, and it's just like it's an incredible experience as well at a World Cup because like you are playing so many games. So like
Mm,
I was kind of going into the World Cup as probably not one of the most established players really.
mm,
And because the year before like I got pulled into the Commonwealth Games due to an unfortunate injury.
yes.
So like I was kind of that outskirts player that was like just kind of buzzing to be there. And then when I got selected for the World Cup, I was like, oh,
Mm,
like this is incredible.
mm,
Um, but then you end up playing quite a lot of minutes because you are playing every day. So then everyone's playing a lot. And
mm,
that's where I think it kind of turned a little bit for me where I was like, oh, like I feel more confident on this stage. And like I feel like because you find it's not often you get the opportunity to get like lots of minutes, especially in like test series where you're only playing like 3 games.
yeah,
So yeah, it was really incredible. Like I feel very grateful to be able to have played in those 3 games. And like, yeah, obviously, as you said, we did lose the final, but you know, Australia were better than us on that day, and
mm,
it's like it is just as simple as that. Like the better team did win on the day, and I think if we got that chance again, like it could be different. I don't know, but it was yeah, it was an incredible World Cup for us, and I think it really like it gave us like a lot of belief, I guess, and I
yeah,
think obviously coming fourth in the Commonwealth Games like the year before
mm,
that was like a disappointment.
yeah,
And it was a new team going into that World Cup. Like there was some new players slotted in, and I think especially for the girls that were kind of maybe younger in the group or like in like coming up into that group, like that gave them a lot of belief that like coming second in the World Cup for England, that's like a precedent. Like yeah, we want to be
yeah,
coming second, we want to be coming first. Like we always want to be in those finals
yeah,
if as much as possible. And I feel like that's the kind of belief that like a while ago, like that wasn't the case.
yeah,
So yeah, it was pretty cool. Like we made history. Like I would have loved to come first, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
um
I know.
it was pretty huge. Like it's something I'll never forget for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you guys probably wish that that final was happening the 2 days beforehand where you
Yeah,
did defeat Australia. But I mean, it is what it is, and I think that it's definitely setting you guys up to, as you just said, to have that confidence to go forward and be a team that will be able to be world beaters and world champions in the very
yeah.
near future. Maybe not 2027, hopefully for my girls, but I mean, if not us, it can be
Don't be
you
like
guys.
that. Don't be like that.
Yeah, I have to be. There's a bias, I have to be. But so today we are here to talk about that Pride round that's coming up on the 22nd of June between yourselves and the Melbourne Mavericks. We'll remember that
Yes.
for those watching. So how special is it to be a part of your first Pride round in SSN as someone that is a part of the LGBT community?
Oh, it's really special. Like I really love playing in Pride rounds, and obviously, um, like it's Pride Month and things like that, and it like people really like love getting involved and love hearing
Mm.
people's stories and like kind of understanding like the difficulties that people have had to go through to kind of be themselves.
Yeah.
And I think it's yeah, it's a pretty huge thing for me, and I've always been very grateful to be a part of the community and kind of be myself in that. Like I've
Mm.
been very grateful and been very fortunate to be able to have mainly positive experiences. And I think I just love being able to celebrate Pride Round, and it's something we've done in the UK. I've absolutely loved it. So I'm really excited to see what we could do over here with the Mavs and, really get around it, really get celebrating.
And I mean, I have to say congratulations on your anniversary that was on the 2nd of June with Tash Pavlin, who's also a netballer.
Yeah.
And I know that you guys both just made the extended Roses squad as a
Yeah.
whole. So how special is it to also have your partner now in that main squad environment? And hopefully both of you will be able to be in one of those test squads this year for the Roses.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like me and Tash, we kind of met at like I think it was under 17s like Netball Europe, like when we
Hmm.
were kids.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since then, and then we ended up at the same union. It was yeah, it's been a pretty special journey, but like we've played on the same team many times, and it's like
Mm.
it's so fun. Like it's so much fun. Like, and we play this sport to have fun, and like what better to do it with your best friend, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if we could get some caps together internationally, that'd be like a cherry on top. But
Yeah.
Tash is, I'm very grateful to have a partner like Tash, and she's absolutely killing it in the
Oh
UK for
God, yeah.
Nottingham Forest. So yeah, it's been cool to be able to watch, and hopefully she'll be able to get over for the Pride round that we're playing. So that would
Mm.
be, yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome. And I mean, like in the scene of netball, like as growing up, more watching a lot of the New Zealand and Australian stuff and now bringing in the UK now
Yeah,
kind of nowadays. I mean, with like there wasn't actually a lot of representation in our scenes for
yeah,
LGBT athletes. I mean, like there's Liv Lewis now at the Mavs, yourself, and then also like previously, like Ash Brazel was a major advocate
yeah,
for the community as she's a part of it. So, but like New Zealand, I actually don't know of any off the top of my head, but like the English scene has a lot of, great representatives. I mean,
yeah.
there's you two, and then you've got Sarah Bateman Francis and Stacey Francis. So I would love to hear kind of what it is like being an LGBT athlete in a game that it's not very common on our side to have
Yeah,
many LGBT athletes, unlike the men's game. And
yeah.
like maybe what are some of the best support you've had or received over in the UK?
I think for me, growing up, like I didn't have like loads of role models necessarily in
Mm,
netball. Um, but I think it's more about like I joined teams and stuff, and like some of the teams like they're just so welcoming, and like
mm,
you feel like you can be yourself, and like I was very fortunate in a lot of the netball teams I've been in that like I could have always been myself and like really express myself. And then growing up a little bit more, like you do have those role models, like you've obviously got Stacey and Sarah,
mm.
and then like Nat Panagari always
Yes.
at Loughborough was always like a huge advocate for Pride Round and things like that. And more commonly, like mine and Tasha's age, you've got like Ria and Michelle, um, and it's just great for us to be able to feel able to like not express ourselves, but like be ourselves on like social media and be
Hmm.
ourselves, and hopefully be role models for other kids growing up to know that like you know, netball is a community that you can feel safe, and netball is a community where you can be yourself, and it doesn't matter, who you like and who you don't like. It just is what it is, and it is who you are. And so I feel really grateful that I'm able to be open and, really support um anyone who wants to get involved in netball. Um, and I think it's really important that people can see people um, like them playing
Yeah.
and look up to, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, as you just said, that is a great way to sum that up because, like in the men's game, and also with the more LGBT athletes that we're kind of seeing, it is creating that netball is an accepting game
Yeah.
that, any boy, girl, any person can play.
Yeah.
Um, just to finally wrap this chat up, I mean, it's been great to chat with you, but knowing that it is Pride Round, I would love to hear like one message that obviously you've gone into it just then, but just like
Yeah.
one specific message that you'd have to fans and players with the Pride Round coming up.
I think Pride Round, it's not always easy to express yourself.
Mm.
But I think as long as you are always able to create an environment for other people to feel that way, you can always hope that people will do the same for you. So just being kind and being open, I guess.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And
Thank you.
everyone, please go and support the Firebirds and the Mavericks in their Pride Round game this week at Nissan Arena. Thank you so much.
Thank you.